Hi, and welcome to the Underground. We're live tonight. My name is Mike.
I'm Adrian. Welcome. This is the Underground. This is our first show. It's going to be your local show to show your voice. Give us your opinion. We're a live call-in show, and we're taking callers now. We got a lot on the plate for tonight. We got a musical act, as you might have heard on our intro. We're going to cover some topics. We got some guests, and we're taking your calls. If you have an opinion you want to share, call us. All topics are open, although we do reserve the right to hang up on you if you're acting like a jackass.
All right. Yeah, so we got a couple guests tonight. Benaya Mashenko, who was just playing just now. He will be on the show again for in-depth interview and where you can see him play. And also we have some live, well, it's not live, earlier interview this week that it was with Jesse and Chris, one of our local talents here, and had to do with the
they did
after party of the Dancing of the Stars.
The Dancing with the Local Stars at the Kiggins. I think they did some post-event interviews out on the street or something.
Yeah, and they're fresh out of college right now, and these guys are doing some phenomenal work.
Yeah, I think they started at this studio as interns, just helping out to get their volunteer hours, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, we're lucky to have them. They're great dudes, you know, and they really know their stuff. In fact, if any of you are interested in learning how to do this, you can come on in. We're all volunteers. As you can see, you get what you pay for, you know, but it's a lot of fun, and it's a blast doing it. You know, come in, you can make your own show. You don't have to go on live, you know, do what you want. This is your station. It's your way to express yourself. Yeah, I think that's how we all got started here. It's just coming in, you know, pitching in, learning a little bit here and there. I mean, I guess I'm not too ashamed to say I still don't know anything, you know, but I'm here.
Yeah, you know, when I first came here, I didn't know anything about cameras or audio, and there's a lot of talent that's right here in the studio that will actually come right behind you and kind of guide you through all the processes, and so you're really not too lost when you come in here. You might feel like you're lost, but these guys are really helpful in teaching you all the basics of 101 of audio and video. You know,
and one thing I think that brings us all in, I mean, if you have an interest in this, I mean, I think the same goes for both of us. It's just, it's a passion. Just, it's something that's piqued your interest. You might not know anything about it, but that doesn't matter. You can come in, you can learn, you know, take your time and do what you want, or just go under the wing of someone who knows more, you know.
Yeah, matter of fact, the person that's doing the switching in the whisper room right now, they're just learning. That's why you see the different views, the different cameras coming on right now, because they're just learning how to do it, and she's doing a pretty good job right now. At least you see me on there right now.
Yeah. And I guess, you know, it's Friday night, so I want to say cheers to everyone out there at home.
Yep.
And happy Friday. This to you and me.
So anyways, what went on with you this week?
You know, I've been busy at work, you know, we got a new machine at work. I've been kind of stressed out over that, you know, getting ready to start learning it, and, you know, I guess it's just work and preparing for this. You know, this is our first show, so I hope you guys will bear with us. Any bumps in the road, you know, I guess it's probably going to seem unprofessional, but it's live and unscripted, so, you know, they're going to get what they get.
Yeah, that's why we need your help out there to call in and kind of help us muddle through this a little bit. But we're going to try to give you a professional show out of this anyways.
Yeah.
And, but let's get to some of the talent that's local here with Jesse and Chris.
Okay.
And do kind of show what they did out on the street.
Yeah.
We're really impressed in how they got in contact, they got out there, got in the faces of the people, asked them questions, and actually did their editing, right?
Yeah, I believe did you do the editing for it, or did they?
No, these guys did all the editing. They filmed it and came up with their own plan. So How about we go to, this is with the after party of Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with
And-
the Local Stars, I believe.
What's that?
Dancing with the Local Stars?
Yes, it's the after party
Okay.
at Kiggins. And let's check out, see what they did.
Fort Vancouver Television. We're right outside of Kiggins Theater, where we're going to be reviewing Dancing with the Local Stars, talking to the people inside, just seeing what's going on. Right next to me I got Dan, who's obviously dressed up as Han Solo. Great stuff. Nice to meet you, Dan. So I heard that you you were in the Dancing with the Stars event, right?
I was on the number 8 position with the Star Wars theme dance, obviously.
Loving it. Okay. Well, what was that experience like for you? I mean, what was it? Was it impactful? What did it mean to you?
You know, it was a total rush. I actually, the whole process, start to finish, was a lot of fun. I thought Star Wars was a good fit, being an owner of a movie theater. A lot of people like Star Wars. Most people like Star Wars, and I thought that would be a fun way and a creative way, even though I'm not a dancer, to sort of express myself and my movie fan side. We raised a good $150,000 between all the dancers, so I'd say that's a pretty good impact. We went to a good cause, an important cause, with the supporting the programs at the Trust. Well, I had such a good time the night of the event. I just sort of wanted to keep that good feeling going and keep all the people that were involved together, and no excuse to sort of wind down from the event, if you will. So, and then I also wanted to show the video for those that weren't able to attend that evening. Mainly my parents, who were on a dance cruise that night. So we just provided another opportunity for people to come and see what we did and look at all the fun we had.
Great, great. Well, thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Jesse Rainey here with Fort Vancouver Television. I'm here with
Elson Strahan.
All right, nice to meet you, Elson. So, what was the event like tonight? I mean, was it really great, really energetic? People liked it?
Well, you know, I'm president of the Trust, and we have the privilege of working with these dancers and who give so much and raise so much to help support the Trust on behalf of the community. And so this just brought back all those good times of the event itself.
What do you feel about the community factor? I mean, the money is going to a great cause. What does that mean to you and to the community?
Well, having the privilege of serving as the president of the Trust, you know, it's pretty humbling to know, and I've been with the Trust for now over 11 years, just the community recognizes the importance of the historic site, the importance of the history of the community itself, and they continue to help fund projects that remind us and interpret that history, remind us of and interpret that history.
How can people get more involved with the Trust and the community in general?
Well, you know, it's easy to get involved in the community from the standpoint that if you just connect with any nonprofit and you just find their webpage and just say you want to volunteer or give them a call. Certainly we're at a pretty easy address on the internet. We're just at fortvan, FORTVAN.org.
Well, thank you. Great interview.
Thank you.
Had a great night.
Pleasure to meet
Yeah,
you.
have a good time. Yep. Jesse Rainey here at Keegan's Theater. Can you two introduce yourselves so the audience at home can know who you are?
Mark Wild.
Jennifer Wild.
Okay, so you guys watched the performance of Dancing with the Local Stars. What did you guys think of the performance?
Well, it was very entertaining.
And completely charming, and I am more in love with this town than ever.
That's great. Well, you know that this was for a charity event, so you know, how did you think they did? I mean, out of all the money they made and all the support they had, what did you guys think of that?
I was very impressed with the level of support they were able to get for the Fort Vancouver Foundation. That's great.
Yeah, it just seemed like it was a very successful event, and we're new to this community, so I don't know how it's been in years past, but Scott alone seemed to have done an amazing job, so it was good.
Here I'm with.
Maddie Hantho.
Nice to meet you, Maddie. So what did you think of the event tonight? I mean, how well did it go?
It went pretty well. I mean, I was at the actual event and worked with all the dancers before the actual event, and the work that goes into this by the Fort Vancouver staff is unbelievable. Each of the dancers had multiple smaller events before the actual night of the big event to raise money. So being at those all summer long, leading up to this big event, it was cool to see full circle and see everyone enjoy the final show.
Well, that's great. I know this is a charity event. How did you guys do that this time around?
We did really well. It was not, this year we didn't earn the most ever, but Scott Campbell did raise the most that any dancer has ever raised at one time, which was $66,000. So our total for the night was right up around $115,000. So for a one-night event, that was pretty spectacular.
For the dancers and the people who are working with the dancers, do you think they had a lot of fun? It was very energetic, very exciting, and a great experience in general?
Yeah, I think it's really hard not to have fun. We have such an energetic group of dancers every year, and they really put their all into their routines and into what they're doing, and it's just infectious. Everyone that works with them and works around them really catches that vibe and is just really excited about the whole event. And they get excited about the Fort Vancouver Trust and all the programs we put on and what this event ultimately supports.
Okay, well, thank you for your time and have a great night. All right, back to you in the studio.
Hey, Ben. Where'd Ben go?
Okay, we're back on. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. That was just an example of the kind of services we can provide here with editing software and you know what a motivated person can do with a camera.
Right. I want to make mention also, we've had a lot of phone calls come in regards to our programming, and we've had a lot of compliments on the new programming that's on, and we've also had some, you know, not so
Complaints?
Yeah, we had some complaints.
Yeah.
And we just want to kind of basically touch on the issue of what's going on here at FETV. One of the issues is we have a problem with our system. It has 9 drivers, and 8 of them have shut down on us, so we're down to 1 driver. And so because of that 1 driver, we're really limited to what we can do. So we're trying to baby this thing along so the station doesn't go black.
Okay.
So we edit everything into like 3-4 hour blocks, and then we put it onto the station. So what you're seeing, it's going 4 hours at a time. So that's kind of one of the issues that why a lot of people are calling in. They want to see some of the old stuff come back on, and we're trying to get that stuff back up.
Oh. Huh. Yeah, you know, it's like, I hate to say it, but in a way, I'm kind of glad we have compliments and complaints, because at least people are listening, watching, and paying attention.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of these people that call in, even if they have complaints, we really appreciate that, because it helps us to understand what the viewers are looking for and just be a part of the team here. And those people are really nice. It's not like they're being ridiculous about their demands and stuff. They're actually very nice people. So it just helps us to perfect and give more of a professional viewing platform.
You know, one thing I would suggest too, I mean, to these people, if you have a complaint about the way it's going, come in and make your own show.
Yeah,
so you can
that's
do better.
a good idea. Yeah.
You know, if anyone has an opinion today, you know, feel free to call in. We are live right now. You know, this Friday, October 24th, I believe.
Yep.
And we're live right now. Our phone number is right here, 693-7544, area code 360. Call in. All topics are open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now on to our next thing. Where's Benai at?
Oh, our musician.
Our musician. We wanted to talk to him, our local musician, and this. What are we doing? It just broke up. We're off the air.
No, we're on the air. Wrap it up.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, we still see ourselves on TV right now, so can we finish the interview with Benaya? What? Yeah, let's just finish this with...
We should explain, too, to the audience watching, I guess our switcher, which allows us to switch from the views of the camera, has just broken.
Yeah.
And so apparently we might have to go off. But I guess we'll plug along until, you know, I mean, it's opening night jitters, you know, it's our first episode, you know, it's like we're trying our best.
Yeah. We don't have one of those fancy ships. We got one that's still made of, what, back in the Romans,
Yeah.
made of wood. So we're just
Galley.
putting cork plugs in.
Yeah.
So anyways, but this is Benaiah. Benaiah's a local artist, and I've met him down at some of these couple venues, and want to
Like
bring
at a
him on
farmer's
here.
market or?
No, down there at the coffee shop, down at Brood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he comes down there, I think it's Saturday nights, right?
Yeah, the open mic was Saturday nights. It's done for the season.
Oh, it's done for the season?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Was it an outdoor venue?
No, it was indoor. It's on Main Street in 6.
Huh. I just figured maybe they closed because of the colder weather, like if they had an outdoor, you know, area or something.
No, I think Brood, what they do is they just allow the local artists. I think Robin and Ryan are the ones that heads it up, all the musicians that come in, and they kind of had an agreement that they would just promote within the local community.
Oh, that's
these,
cool.
musicians.
Good.
And Benaiah, he's 19?
Yeah.
19, and
Jesus.
so, yeah. But,
Well, I'm just kind of embarrassed, you know, he's half my age and he can already grow a bigger, thicker beard than I can, you know?
So, Benaiah, so when did you get into playing music?
I've been singing music for about 8 years now. I've been playing guitar for about 3 years. I actually just recently moved down from Alaska, so I've just started to get into a music scene where there's more than just, you know, bad speed metal, which
Right.
is kind of Alaska's tour de force. But
Is there a good kind?
I don't really listen to it that much, so
Okay.
I haven't found one.
So, when did you move down here from Alaska?
I moved down around May.
May? Okay. Did you come with your parents, or was it
Yeah,
just off the whim?
I was actually going to college at the time, and my parents moved down, and I was like, I had the opportunity to come down here, but I'd have to move back with them temporarily, so that's the situation I'm in now. But it was worth it, because I'd much prefer it here.
Right. So, what part of Alaska?
I lived in Talkeetna for a long time, then Wasilla, and then Anchorage. And Anchorage is the big population center.
Right.
And Wasilla is a little north of that, and Talkeetna is a ways north of that. So,
What's
I
your
just-
favorite area?
Portland,
Portland?
not
Okay.
Alaska.
Not Alaska. Okay, and so when did you get into playing music?
I just taught myself guitar, and then when I came down here, I just began hanging around downtown because I like the downtown here a lot. And I met up with Robin and Ryan by chance. I was eating at Brood and asked if I could play some stuff with them on the sidewalk, and they liked enough to bring me on stage, and I've been playing around Vancouver ever since.
Right. Yeah, I talked to Robin, and they say nothing but high remarks about you. They just kind of took him underneath his wing and underneath their wings and kind of brought him up through Is it kind of hard to get into these venues, being as young as you are?
For me, it hasn't been, because I've been kind of introduced to all the venues I play by musicians who already play there. But yeah, I haven't really tried to get into any venues that I wasn't, you know, introduced to by musicians in the first place.
So is that the best way to get into a person with, you know, I'm kind of focused on how young you are right now, because I know that's kind of a complication for some of the musicians that are young. They're very talented, and it's hard for them to get into this arena of playing in different venues. And but you suggest that's the best way to help yourself get into these places, by tagging along with, or
Yeah, I mean, once you
people that are
know the
new.
community musicians, I mean, they all the venues tend to rely on their recommendations, because the musicians know who can play really well, and so, and it's just really nice to have a support network and just have people who can come in and fill a role in a gig anytime. And so being part of the musical community is really helpful to you know, a young musician here.
yeah.
I have a few questions, if I may. Now, you said you taught yourself the guitar, you're 19. What age did you start practicing and teaching yourself? Like, how long did it take you?
I started playing guitar when I was 16.
Okay, so it's a pretty good time, yeah. And none of my business, if you don't feel like answering, that's fine, but you, you know, make pretty good I'd imagine most 19-year-olds aren't going to have a terribly high-paying job, probably minimum wage of some sort. So do you find you make some pretty good money comparatively, or is it more of a, you know, make what you can while you try and establish yourself kind of thing?
That's what I don't make any money off the music right
Okay.
now. All the gigs I've been playing have been tips only.
Okay.
But that's kind of the situation I'm in though, is saving up money.
Yeah, well, it's foot in the door, you know. Everyone's got to start somewhere, I imagine, and,
Yeah, so I work a full-time job, but
oh,
but
okay.
this is what I do on the evenings because I'm in Vancouver most evenings of the
Awesome,
week.
awesome.
Cool. Well, Benaiah, do you have a song for us? We just saw the pizza guy come in, so we're going to have Benaiah kind of lead us into while we go grab a slice of pizza, and he's going to play a song for us. What song is it, Benaiah?
I think the one I'm gonna play is the train song, and it's not the best song I've ever written, but it's certainly the most fun song I've ever written.
The train song?
The train song. And I typically play with another singer, an alto singer, but she's we had to put the band on a hiatus for a while because she's out with some medical issues for a couple months. So.
Oh, jeez.
She same age as you?
She's 16, so she's even younger than I am.
Gosh, well, that's too bad that she's got medical issues.
Yeah, but they figured it out, so it's not a big deal. She just can't sing for a couple months. So.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Cool.
good, I guess. I mean, all things considered, you know.
Well, I'm going to grab a piece of pizza while you guys play.
I'm gonna, all right.
No, I'll save one for you.
Watch me roll right into you. General man, he used grief, he used sad. We are falling stars, and time will tear the two of us apart. This too soon shall pass, so you better enjoy it when it lasts. That's what I said now. Yeah. Oh, roll on through. Watch me roll right into you. Roll on mine. You scream, you sigh. We are falling stars, and time will tear the two of us apart. Yes, too soon shall pass, so you better enjoy it. Well, yes, that's what I said now. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Train roll on through. Watch me roll right into you. Train roll on by.
Is there any particular inspiration for that song, or was it just jamming and coming up with words, like once you had a good rhythm?
I wrote that song in about 15 minutes. There wasn't a whole lot that went into that song other than just there's sometimes you just find a riff and it just hits you and
Yeah,
it just all comes together at the same time. That's what happened in that song.
it's awesome, yeah.
So most of the songs you play, you've written them?
We play about half covers, half ones are written, but most of the covers nobody recognizes, so it's a main same effect.
Cool. So how do people get a hold of you or find out where you're going to be playing at?
There's actually a website, lancasterrose.com,
Okay.
that I set up, and it's basically just a website for the band, and there's a mailing list there.
Okay.
Um,
So are you part of Lancaster Rose then, or do you?
That's the band I play in with the alto singer who's out for a while. I also play under my own name just around, but if there's any gigs in particular, that'll all be on the Lancaster Rose site. So.
Okay. So when they go to Lancaster Rose, they'll see Benaya
Yeah.
and find out where you're
Yeah.
playing at. Okay, cool. So what venues are you mostly playing at? Is it mostly just coffee shops right now? Or?
Yeah, I don't have any active gigs at the moment. Actually, they've all kind of wrapped up recently. But I was playing at Brood. It's a coffee shop down there, and then Lewitt, which is a brewery in downtown Vancouver. I also played Brick House, which is a pub down there. They have a songwriters night that I went to. So.
A songwriter's night?
Yeah, it's for people who write songs to come in and play a couple of their songs at Brick House. And the Brick House has a regular open mic, but it starts at 9, which is when they kick minors out. So I haven't been able to play at that.
Do you see that as a problem, for you to be able to get your music out, being underage like that?
It's a little bit of a difficulty. It kind of gives me time to, to learn the area and learn, because I've never played music with people before, because I grew up in Alaska and nobody talks to each other.
And why is that? Is it because of the distance?
Because
or is it...
the kind of people who go to Alaska don't go to Alaska to talk to other people.
Oh, okay.
Generally.
I can imagine the weather isn't really conducive to street musicians either.
Yeah, it's great for 3 months out of the year.
Yeah.
It's great if you're visiting.
So, well, you got one more song for us?
Sure. Yeah, apologies, the intonation's a little weird because I'm missing a string, but this one is called The Bond. This is one of my older songs.
gallows garish frame. The last words on my lips are the echo of your name. And as they put the hood on and slip the noose around my throat, the last thing I ever see is you standing out alone. Why don't we just break the bond? Why are we still holding on, pretending there is something left from when you betrayed me to the rest? I do not understand your heart. You build me up and you tear me apart. But there is something yet I feel. I don't know why, but I love you still.
Good job, Benaiah.
Thank you.
So once again, how can they contact you?
LancasterRose.com,
Okay.
and all the information should be there.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, what's up next?
I don't know, we could get a call. I know we have at least 2 viewers because I left my dogs at home and I left the TV on this station. So I know you're out there and I hope someone will call in and give us something to talk about. You know,
do they know how to dial, your dogs?
well, one's a border collie. I think she could figure it out maybe. She figures out how to do everything else that annoys me. You know, why don't she do one that'll make me happy? Yeah, the number's right here. I guess I don't know if you guys can read that. I don't know. I don't think, because the switcher's down, we're able to get a close-up on it. But it's 360-693-7544. And if anyone wants to call in, all topics are open.
Yeah. And I want to bring up once again that here at FVTV, you know, I never knew how to get involved with TV. And they really gave us a platform to, or an avenue to get involved. And if you, as a viewer, have any desire to come in and check it out, you're more than welcome to come in. There's plenty of people here to kind of show you what's going on, find your niche. You might want to just show up for a couple days and try it out and find out it's not your niche. You might find a passion for doing a certain spot, or find your little spot here. And you might just want to be in video. Well, we got Chris, he's our video tech, and Jesse, our audio guy, and they can actually teach you all the ropes on how to.
And it looks like they did a good job because it looks like the switcher's back
Yeah,
up.
the switcher's back up, but the shuffle's upside down.
Hey, we're volunteers. You get what you pay for, like I said.
Yeah, obviously we have a face for radio.
Yeah,
You took us off.
Yeah, face made for radio and a voice made for print.
So anyways, but if you feel like you have a show, like a show you want to start hosting or something, audio's gone too? All right, we'll be back. Looks like we're completely off. We went to.
Why don't we just keep going? You have any?
It can be radio right now, I guess. So.
Oops, hey guys.
So what's up?
Are we?
So like we got a station here. It all kind of broke.
Are we? Hold on. Are we still
they
on
can
here?
hear us.
Okay, so let's continue our talk.
It's just like radio.
Yeah. So anyways, we just had some technical difficulties
Who we're talking
right
to
here.
is Chris, our video engineer.
Hi guys. I thought I'd come in here. Let me just say that
We usually don't introduce him, but this time we are.
they usually don't let me out of the cage, but I understand if you guys click off. But terribly sorry for the switcher issues we had. The whole software thing. It's on a computer and the computer crashed. So it worked for a second there, and then it just went bye-bye. So we got to fix all that, and sorry for that to happen. So yeah.
That's all right. I'm sure you'll get it back up. There we go.
Oh.
Hey, yeah, and
look at that, we're back.
And now you know why we keep him behind the cameras.
Yeah, you know, well, this kind of gives me another example of why someone should not be intimidated to give this a try. Because,
Yeah.
you know, it's obvious we're regular people. You know, they're not going to come in and be overwhelmed and hear a bunch of lingo that they don't understand. You know,
Yeah.
we're regular people trying to have fun and do something good.
Yeah,
You know,
and,
so,
you know, Chris, when you first came here, how much did you know?
everything.
Yeah.
So is it working, guys?
Okay, I guess he's not gonna talk to us.
No.
So anyways,
Okay.
so if you people out there have a show or something that you want to get involved with, if you want to be a producer, this is a place to come to, and we can kind of show you the ropes on how to become a producer. And we can actually, you know, if you want to do a show or something, you just come up with the content, and we can kind of try to work towards that way. First, doing pre-recordings and start putting it on TV. And that's the way for you to kind of get familiar with it and get yourself on there, make the mistakes here at the public access before you go big time.
Yeah.
So anyways,
Well, you know, if they're not calling in to hear about how to get involved, why don't we just bring up a topic?
Oh, cameras. You want to talk about cameras?
Yeah, we need to bring our next guest on,
Oh, wow, okay.
unless you have
then.
something to say.
Oh, no, I have nothing to say. I mean, except, you know, I don't really know why I'm up here.
We were thinking that ourselves. Kidding, man, kidding. We'll be a lot nicer to you if you come in as a guest, we promise.
Yeah. So anyways, I'd like, within regards to what I was just saying, I would like to bring a friend of mine up, Carol, and, yeah, come on up, Carol. And Carol, with Ginger, one of the producers around here, have been looking to do a show, and so they're just kind of getting into it. And I thought we'd bring Carol on and kind of get to know her a little bit and kind of familiarize ourselves with what the show might be about and kind of the avenue that they're going to go towards.
Yeah.
So welcome, Carol.
Thank you.
So do you have a name for your show?
I'm thinking, well, you should call it, What Do You Really, Really Want?
What do you really, really want? I think that's the hardest part when you start a show is coming up with the name. Because there's so many
Yeah.
things you can come up with, but does it sound right? But that sounds like a pretty good name.
So what will your show entail? I mean, is that basically the premise of it is what do you want? Like do you mean like if you rubbed a bottle and a genie gave you wishes, you know?
No, it would be more about what do you really, really want to understand about your true purpose while you're here on this journey of Earth. Do you want to feed the illusion, or do you want to step out of the illusion and contribute to the truth?
Now, this almost sounds like a Matrix type thing, you know, the red pill or the blue pill.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yes, that's your you have two choices, the red pill or the blue pill.
Okay.
And you can come to an awareness where you can choose to be in the illusion. You know, at the end of the Matrix, Neo did choose to go back into the illusion
Okay.
to help.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to do that. For instance, in the movie What Dreams May Come, the character Robin Williams stepped into the illusion of his wife's death to bring her out of that illusion.
Yeah, I remember that movie. That was very visually stunning.
And if we look at movies, if we look at life, if we look at news, if we look at books, if you look at everything as a metaphor to learn something. And I've been thinking, since you've asked me to ponder on this, I've been pondering and I've come up with 3 principles to live by. They're really quite simple. 1, first, do no harm. 2, what's your dogma? 3, what's your story? Your story will tell you what your dogma is. So the challenge is, who are you without your dogma and without your story?
Can you go into a little bit about what dogma means for those that don't know what that means?
Sure. Back when we started with the first war in Iraq, and they had a talking head on one of the news shows, And this talking head was talking about war strategy. And he took information from World War II, projected it into the coming up Iraq War. And in that instant, I realized either that's his dogma or someone has told him to put that out there to make that a universal dogma, that you take stuff from the past and project it into the future. You can't do that. You can't know what's going to happen. That takes you out of the present moment, to be in that moment, to experience that moment in authenticity. What they did, they smeared it with that projection from the past and putting it into the future. That inhibits your ability to be authentic and be in the moment, and it puts you into the illusion rather than into the truth. And in that moment, I came up with my own kind of idea. I says, that's his dogma, and my dogma is to have no dogma, and that in itself is a dogma.
Should we answer?
Go for it.
Hey, this is Underground. You're live on the air.
Yeah, can you put Alex Jones on?
Who?
No, we cannot. This is a live show.
Okay.
Well, thanks
I
for your
like-
support.
I like Alex Jones. I think he's great.
Thank you for your support to
I
that
think he's
viewer.
got a lot of courage.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, you're live on the air on Underground.
Hello, this is Mortimer Schmertz.
Hello, Mortimer. Welcome.
I said it's Mr. Schmertz.
Yes, I heard you, Mr. Schmert. Do you have an opinion you'd like to express?
My opinion of today's kids... Wait, is this the talk show Shut Up and Listen?
No, it is not. This is the talk show Underground.
That's a joker.
That's, yeah,
That's a joker.
That's what we said. We're not gonna allow people that are drunk or
Is the refrigerator running?
Oh, yes, it's running. So tell me, call it Mr. Schmert. Are you drunk or high?
I don't believe in being drunk and high at the same time.
Okay, so which one are you practicing at the moment?
I would say drunk.
Okay. What are you drinking tonight?
You know, it's a fermented beverage. Comes in bottles.
Okay, does it have a 2020 at the end of the name?
No. No, but I've seen that show on TV, 2020.
Yeah, I'm referring to the Mad Dog, Mogan David. I figure you was a Lightning
Baba
Creek
Waba.
type of guy. Okay,
I have no opinions.
okay.
Okay, well then, thank you for calling.
Well, thank you for calling, Mr. Schmert.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm glad you're
Mr.
watching.
Schmert.
All right, Mr. Schmert, do you want me to write that down? We can mail you a thank you card. Christmas is
No.
coming up.
No.
Okay. All right, well, thank you, Mr. Schmert. I'm glad you're watching.
Okay.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So anyways, so
Sorry
back
about
to
that, Carol.
So back to the dogma.
Yes, and just repeating, I came up with my own kind of idea that my dogma would to be to have no dogma, and that in itself is a dogma.
Okay.
So it's kind of a circular conundrum. But what that does, it sets you up. If you realize you have a story, that story leads to a dogma. That is how you live your life.
So you're basically saying dogma is basically our preset notion of beliefs or values.
Yes.
And that core system of beliefs or values is formed by your experiences through life.
Perhaps.
Basically making us
yeah.
who we are. We are shaped by what we've experienced, is what it kind of
Yes.
sounds like to me.
Yes.
And so
yes.
the goal is, since you cannot predict the future by the past, to try and absolve yourself of any dogmatic beliefs so you can fully experience the future without looking through the lens of the past. Is that?
No, experience
Okay.
the present.
Experience the present, okay.
Right. You take yourself out of the present moment when you think everything has to fit into a dogma or into a box. So the challenge is how do your dogmas filter your experience? And then do you create a story around that dogma? say for instance, there are some people that have a particular kind of pain ailment, and I've seen them offered a solution, but they'd rather have their pain story than to go for the solution.
Yeah.
See, you have to let people have their journey. People have to decide or figure out for themselves what direction do they want to go. The challenge is, do you stay in the illusion or do you step out of it and not support the illusion anymore? For instance, Alex Jones is very good at exposing some of the most heinous things that happen on this planet. I think that takes great courage.
Yeah, it is.
It does take great courage. However, all those horrid things are still part of this illusion. They are a matrix to keep us enslaved, to create a dogma. Alex does a really good job at trying to get you out of your dogma and to get you out of your story and have you consider that these things are going on doesn't mean they're real. It's an illusion to keep you locked into a matrix so that you don't wake up and so that you don't step out of it and say, I don't have to be a part of that fear porn. I don't have to accept that fear porn anymore.
Right.
You know, I got to plead ignorance. I really haven't watched much of Alex Jones. I know he's on this station, but I haven't sat down and watched him, but I think I'm going to have to. You know, the reason I laughed during your analogy, it wasn't anything humorous. It just reminded me of a story that kind of sounded the same, and how people will choose to stay in their rut through fear of the unknown. And the story basically involved these two old timers sitting on the rocking chairs out on the porch, just rocking, and there's this old hound dog sitting in between them, and he's just sitting there howling, going, "Oh, oh!" And the old timer says, "Hey, why is your dog howling?" "Oh, where he's sitting, there's this nail in the porch." And I'm like, "Why doesn't he just move?" And the old timer says, "Well, I guess it don't hurt enough yet." And it kind of reminded me of that, you know, just that people will choose to, you know, I guess people always choose the hell they know is the way I've heard it.
And some people get attention no matter which way they can get it. Even if they're suffering, they'll rather choose that than not having the attention.
So who would they be without that suffering or that suffering story?
Yeah,
Holding on to
exactly.
that filters your experience. You want to step out and let those stories and dogmas go so you can have an authentic experience of who you really are and who
Right.
you really can be. See, who I am, what my name is, what I look like is irrelevant.
Right.
The only thing that matters is what I do.
Right. So basically your show is going to be a way of kind of helping people kind of
Sort
find
out,
themselves as their own dogma, their own
to set them
self.
free from being locked into those dogmas that inhibit them from stepping out of the illusion and into their authentic self. The illusion keeps you locked into a particular behavior pattern. And so we all have to learn eventually to challenge ourselves to step out of those behavior patterns.
Right. I think society has pretty much put us into those little avenues, and it kind of puts us in a little box. And so as we were born, we all of a sudden are just put on this path because our parents have been on that path, and we're just kind of put down into this matrix. We don't know anything different, and when there's a whole bigger world out there to experience, and like they said, we're created in His image. Well, how big is His image? Huge. It's bigger than the universe. So what kind of image can we have instead of right now, the way society is, they put us in these little cookie cutter molds and don't allow us to come out of those little molds. And if you do, you're an outlaw. You know, we can't express ourselves, you know, to what character we really are.
I think people are afraid to be authentic.
Different.
Stepping out of the box and being authentic and having the experience be not filtered with your dogma or your story.
Right.
Because a lot of people are sleepwalking through their life, not being aware of how they have allowed themselves to be controlled because they've accepted the illusion as truth. The illusion is never true. It's never true. Anything that brings fear creates an illusion for you if you buy into the fear.
Right.
There's so much fear porn out there, and I truly believe, I have a friend that had some unusual experiences in his childhood, and from listening to his lectures about his discovery of this, it's become clear to me that there are powers that know how to manipulate the matrix to keep us locked in to the fear. And if you notice, there's just layers and layers and layers. There's always some kind of trauma. They keep bringing on trauma after trauma after trauma to screw up your emotions and your mind and your brain, scramble your brains. You don't know what directions to go.
Right.
So, you use the term fear porn. Is that like mainstream media and, you know, stuff to, you know, like sensationalize and make people fearful, like the Ebola epidemic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There are solutions to that. My husband sent me a email demonstrating that there is a robot in a hospital where people have Ebola, and in 2 minutes with this frequency of light, it's gone. Why isn't that being reported?
Yeah,
Why are the cures for cancer suppressed? There's no money in it. There's no money in it for the pharmaceuticals. They prefer, what is preferred is that you suffer, and I'm going to add to your suffering, I'm going to layer on more and more suffering, so you don't know that you don't have to buy into that. Anything that brings fear to the mind, whether it's anger, whether it's frustration, whether it's helplessness, anxiety while you're driving, anything is fear. And there's a practice called fearless forgiveness. Anything that brings fear to the mind needs forgiveness. That's how you set yourself free from being stuck in the illusion. Fearless forgiveness. Always forgive fear. Never justify it. It doesn't matter who brought it. It doesn't matter how it happened. If you're having a reaction to it, that means there's a disconnect in who you truly are, because you are not that experience of fear. That's a mask.
You know, I'm just asking to play devil's advocate.
Sure.
Now, what would you say to someone who just argues that fear is just the human's natural response in interest of self-preservation, such as flinching or, you know, blinking?
Well, sure. That's a natural human response, but it doesn't have to be a natural human belief. Responses are different than belief. As you begin to practice the fearless forgiveness, forgiveness releases you from your desire for things to be different than they are. So as you practice fearless forgiveness, things that bothered you just over time just simply disappear. Like for instance, I had a pattern of swearing at myself if I knocked something over and threw it on the floor, and I'd say some horrible thing to myself in my mind. Well, would the divine source talk to me that way? Would you talk to your child that way? Why was I doing that to myself? Because of belief and fear of separation from the divine. Whatever you think divine source is, it doesn't matter. But any time you've got fear, it's a reflection of the fear that God has abandoned you, or your divine source has abandoned you, and that's never been true. But this fear porn keeps those layers so that you never get back to that realization that your divine source never left you. You believed you left there, and so that divine source is going to punish you. There's no value in punishing an innocent, ever.
Yeah.
You're innocent.
So with the term fear porn, would you think that maybe there is a certain part of humanity that is morbidly attracted to fear then, such as staring at a car wreck? Even though it might not be healthy for us, there's a certain part of us that might be somewhat attracted to it.
Well, gee, look at all the murder shows we have on TV.
Okay, yeah,
What does that tell you?
yeah.
We are really sick people, and we need healing.
Everything cool?
Yeah. Let's do, we're going to wrap it up after the hour, but this is pretty interesting, and I liked it. Benaiah, how's your guitar strings?
Out of commission.
You're out of commission? Yeah. All right. You can't play with just 3?
I believe he has 4.
He has 4? Okay. But, yeah, let's, so now as a first-time person that's going to come onto the TV, how does that make you feel being a person that has never been out on TV before? Is it something that's kind of scary for you, or is it?
No, I am amazed. I am not terrified at all. And I'm an introvert, and I hate talking in front of people. I really have never shared this with anyone. I just shared a little bit of information with Ginger today. I've just kept this to myself. I've just been on my journey. And the fact that you and I had a conversation and you invited me to be here, I'm amazed at how comfortable I feel, because I'm to the point where I don't care what anybody thinks. I know what works for me,
Right.
and I'm going to keep going that way.
Right. You know, the viewers out there, if you guys have any questions, we were thinking about going to overdrive a little bit and just kind of see where this goes, but if it gets...
we kill it when it dies.
Yeah, if it starts getting out of hand with the phone calls, then we might have to just end it a little bit sooner. But for the most part, people, there, we just got a phone call. And while he's answering that...
No, that ain't ours.
This ain't...
No,
It's not ours? Sounds like ours. Yeah, it is.
Okay. Let's see. I don't know.
Okay.
It said busy. Sorry.
That's right.
Yeah,
So,
call
you know,
back, whoever it was. Call
yeah,
back.
we don't censor these phone calls, so that doesn't mean you guys have full reign to call in and just throw anything out there, but we'd like for you guys to call in. Feel free to call in and ask questions and be a part of the show. But yeah,
You got free speech until I get annoyed and find the off button. Up until that, you can say what you want.
So anyways, but yeah, we're gonna go into a little bit of overdrive. If I don't know if you can play another song, Benaiah, on your 1 string or 3 strings you got left, but if you would like to, you're more than welcome. You want to try? No? No, he doesn't want to try.
I don't blame him, you know.
You want to sing a song, Adrian?
No, I would rather not offend our viewer.
Couple more drinks, and then you'll be singing.
Well, by then, I might as well just meet at the karaoke bar.
Okay. So anyways, there we go. We're going to try that phone call again.
Okay. Hello, you're live on the air on Underground.
Hello.
Hello. Who's this?
You're live.
You're live on the air.
I'm Jesse.
Hello, Jesse.
What?
How's your Friday?
Good.
What are you up to?
Not much. Watching you guys.
Well, good. Are
I
you
just
in?
want to thank you very much. Your hostess, the spiritual guru.
Oh, Carol.
Yeah. Do you have any
Carol.
questions for her?
Do you have any questions for her? Her name is Carol. Do you have any
No,
questions for her?
I wanted to thank her for coming online. You know, that's pretty cool. Not very many people actually go up there and put themselves out there that way. I'm a spiritual person myself, and thank you.
Well, thank you for your phone call. We appreciate
Yeah,
that.
thank you, Jesse.
It takes a lot to get on TV because everybody's kind of scared to see what they look like and what they sound like. I mean, I edit myself all the time. I'm like, oh my God, why did I say that?
Yeah.
It's cringing. But yeah, we really appreciate Carol.
Yeah.
Thank you for your support, Jesse. I've never done
Definitely.
anything like this before.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you, Jesse. I'm glad you called.
Hey, Jesse, why don't you come down sometime, and if you feel free, you want to join us sometime, you're more than welcome to come down.
Yeah, I'd also love to know what you guys' political views are, just in that area.
I can't. It's part of the illusion.
Yeah, That's the whole thing, is like this political thing, you know, they want us to be Republicans, Democrats, and the whole thing is, why can't I just be myself?
Yeah.
You know, why can't I vote for the person that represents me instead of always having two devils? Which one's the best of the worst? You know, it's like, that's the whole point. We don't have a political view. We're actually just trying to bring truth, trying to set people free and break them out of this matrix. And I'm 47 years old, and I've been in this matrix. I'm finally been breaking it out of it for the last probably 7 years, 10 to 7 years. And each day is a refreshing day, like meeting with Carol. She's just kind of helped me kind of even see the light even more. And that's why we're kind of all coming together for this underground show, is to kind of help people kind of express themselves.
I personally am a libertarian. Are you still there, Jesse?
Yeah. I mean, I am so glad to see like a political, views and spiritual at the same time. It's just.
Yeah, well, that's how tonight happened to go, and we're going to try this every Friday. We're going to be live at 8 o'clock every Friday. I can't say every, who knows, maybe day after Thanksgiving we might not. I'm open for it, but, those are the topics that happen to come up tonight. If anyone at home wants to cover a topic, call us in and drop it on us, and we'll cover that one, or come in.
Yeah, come on down. We've got an audience here tonight of 2, so.
Well, to be fair.
Yeah, they want to ask some questions, but we said no hard questions.
If you count our crew, our audience numbers,
oh yeah, our
go
crew
up like
and
500%. But anyways, thank you for your call, Jesse.
Thank you.
Do you have any more comments before we go?
Pro-gun and be safe.
Thank you. You too, Jesse.
All right. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
So it sounds like people are responding to what you're saying, and so it really helps people to, we've had a lot of phone calls come in, and people just really expressing themselves that they felt like they were alone, and that they had no really avenue. They've kind of isolated themselves from other people because of the extreme measures of the thinking process that's going on. There's so many things where people are, some people are in the thought it's black, white. Well, it's not black and white. We're created in a bigger image than that. It's just not that. Would you agree?
Tell me what you mean by extremes.
Well, like some people will say, well, this is the way life is. It's
Yes.
they cookie cut it.
Yes.
And it's much bigger than that.
So they get locked into a dogma.
Yes.
And they block their authentic experience.
Right.
Yep, that's the challenge. Question yourself and ask you, how does my dogma filter my authentic experience? That's pretty simple. And once you start identifying it, you can choose to step out of it.
Nice. So with this show that you have envisioned, what are you planning on doing? You're planning on bringing different guests in to interview them along that line, or what's kind of your idea of the show or vision?
I really have no idea, because you invited me to be here, and I said, okay, I'll do this, and probably wish some more people would call in and give feedback, because that would help me to understand better the direction, or what do you really, really want? What do you really, really want? Do you want to support the illusion, or do you want to step out into truth and authenticity? Do you want to let go of your dogma? Do you want to let go of your story and cause no harm?
Yeah.
Think about those things. Do you have an answer?
Yeah, it is. It's a hard one to say, and even I find myself conflicted with it. Like I said, I'm a libertarian. Libertarian's all about self-ownership. Do what you feel is right, and you don't have the right to impose on someone else what you think is right. You're in charge. You're the captain of your own soul, and you do what you feel is right. But at the same time, it's also that thing of how far do you consider an illusion? I also believe people are responsible for themselves, and they have to, get a job and work and pay their bills. If I don't feel it should be society's responsibility to pay for someone else while they find themselves.
No, you're responsible to take care of yourself while you're here on your journey in this body.
Yeah.
You are responsible.
Yeah, I agree.
The challenge is to stop blaming people for the things that you might experience.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether you think they're justified or not, it doesn't matter. Stop blaming and challenge yourself to see through the blame to what is the real core issue. What is this trying to teach me?
Right.
Where's my dogma locked into that belief system so that I can blame someone?
So what do you notice to bring these people out of this this matrix? What's the number one thing that you see that actually is kind of like the seed that's planted that actually starts to draw them out of this matrix to actually find their own dogma themselves?
I can only speak from my own journey. I don't know what other people's paths will be to bring them out of the dogma that filters their experience. My own path has been that somehow things show up in my life. And for instance, one night I had listened to Coast AM radio show for many, many years, and then I just kind of got fed up and decided I'm not listening to that stuff anymore. It really doesn't serve me to get me anywhere. And so one day I kept hearing this voice in my head, listen to Coast, listen to Coast. All day long it was just pestering me to listen to Coast. So I turned it on, and there was an author talking to George Norrie, and he was scheduled to be on for 3 hours. I could tell by the frustration in George's voice he was not getting what this author was saying, and I was getting it. So the author was scheduled to be on for 3 hours. He was thrown off after 2, and then they cut the show down to 13 minutes, and I was just like, I can't believe this. So I went out, I got that author's book, and I started to read that book. And it was such a revolutionary perspective on how we have created this illusionary matrix, and it was some keys to what we could do to step out of it. So that got me on a journey to explore how to heal the mind. It's the mind that makes all this it's the traumatized, unhealed mind that creates all this illusion and this fear porn. And laying blame because we feel guilty, and projecting outward and making up excuses. And so that was just the thing I needed to know at that moment. So I have been pursuing to understand how to heal the mind, to break out of the illusion, and to have the experience of authenticity, to break the dogmas, to break my story. But I had to choose to challenge myself to do that. No one walked up to me and told me to do it. But that doesn't mean that the different experiences I've had in my life through other readings, other classes I've taken, wasn't a culmination to help me come to that perspective or that insight. Many years ago I had a counseling session with someone, and he said, you have to separate what you think from what you feel. And if you notice, many people will say, I feel, and they'll say what they feel, but it's not what they feel, it's what they think. People don't know if they're talking from what they feel or what they think. I'm gonna test you on a little bit of language here.
Oh boy.
It's easy. It's an easy test.
I said no tests.
It's an easy test. Tell me what a sunrise and a sunset are.
A sunrise and a sunset.
Mm-hmm.
A sunrise comes up in the east, and a sunrise or sunrise in the east, and sunset in the west.
Okay. What do you think it is?
Well, I would pretty much agree. Our perception of it is that, but basically I know it's just the Earth's revolution causing the sun to come up over
Exactly.
our
It's
horizon.
neither. The sun doesn't rise, the sun doesn't set, Earth turns. Okay. There's a saying in a course that I study, says, words are symbols of symbols twice removed from reality. So the fact that we use the term sunrise and sunset is a lie. The sun doesn't rise, the sun doesn't set. But it's so ingrained into our life that we live that we use those terms, and they're absolute lies. They're absolute untruths. Those things are so subtle We don't even realize how much other things in this illusion that we're presented with that we just accept and don't question.
Right.
Earth turns. Sun does not rise, sun does not set. So that's the things we need to challenge ourselves. Do we just accept, I mean, things that are so intrinsically ingrained in our experience, it's really hard to understand where those things are so that we can step out of them. Because sunrise and sunset is part of the illusion.
So who creates this illusion?
The separated mind, the mind that believes in separation from the divine. See, in the divine's mind, as I understand it, we never separated, but we believe we did. And so we've created all this trauma and drama to punish ourselves. And God has no, or the divine, or whoever you want to say that is, has no investment in murdering anybody. How does a divine source benefit from anybody's murder or inspiring anybody else to murder someone else?
Right.
I've often wondered, can't we just have a day on this planet where no one kills anybody? Let's just stop the killing for one day. If we do it for one day, we can do it for 2 days. We can do it for 3 days. It's a choice. Just don't do it.
I would agree, murder's wrong and all that. For me, I'm an agnostic. I don't necessarily disbelieve in God, but I don't really believe in him either. I just haven't seen enough conclusive evidence either way. But for me, it seems that death is just as natural as life. I mean, it just comes with the territory.
But-
While you shouldn't
yes.
actively seek out to cause harm,
Yes.
Bad things will happen.
But your true self doesn't need the experience of death because you're not a body. Your true essence is not a body. That's part of the illusion, believing you are a body, that you're locked into this experience. You're not. But this is the layers of the illusions that we've created to punish ourselves.
We need some more phone calls.
Well, it's a heavy topic, I mean.
I know, I'm sitting there going, whoa, I got a lot to think about tonight.
Yeah.
So, but
This is
Sue's over there laughing. Sue, you got any questions? Not for me.
Yeah, any questions from the audience?
this.
No, I don't have any questions. I just want to make a comment, though.
Fine.
Yeah, please. Step up to the mic so we can hear you.
I will say the path that I've chosen is a severe path. It's a severe path, but it's my choice. What you do is up to you,
Right.
and what you do doesn't bother me. I'm only responsible for my path.
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Sue?
My comment is I agree with a lot of what Carol is saying. And the whole piece about the illusion. Yes, life is an illusion, but sunrise and sunset can be the blissful parts of this illusion. It's creating the heaven on earth and getting back to the essence, and what Carol's touching on. We are not warring beings in our essence, but we have been taught a dogma, as she puts it, in order to be in life and survive, and to be the fittest and the strong and the bravado. That is a kind of a lie, and it's about loving one another and being with one another, as she put it, in that authentic self. And we have not, at this point, as a race, challenged the love quotient. We have put so much energy into the fear and to the hate. And so it is about us rising and asking ourselves more, and that we don't have to live a lot of the lies that we have been trained,
Right.
to believe. And we're like little robots, and as I see it in times from my youth to my adult later, whoops. Oh. Wow. This is so hard to say, I could never do. But in my own youth and growing up and challenging my own beliefs, and yeah, I mean, we have things within our consciousness that we believe this is true, this is a fact. And the only one that has to challenge it is ourselves, you know, because we go, well, this is how I was raised, and this is what I believe, and this is what I think, and this is what I feel, and yeah, I believe, well, I believe a lot of things that are erroneous, and when we challenge ourselves on that, we find out it's a lie.
Right. So what do you guys think is the key to coming out of this dogma? What's the main key to be able to start coming out of this matrix, this dogma that we've been put into?
I think the divine source will present you with challenges to help you wake up. No one in my circle that I hung out with at that time, that when I heard that message in my head to listen to Coast tonight, I turned the radio on and I listened to it, and I got that book. No one in my circle even knew about the book or would have told me about the book. So I needed kind of like to be drop kicked into this, because I realized that was what I was ready for next. Right. And here I am kind of floundering, kind of trying to figure stuff out that drops in, but I have to effort to learn it. Right. But something helped me get there. Nobody here helped me get there.
Right.
Something, and I believe, and that took a lot of pressure off of me, because I was involved many years ago. I was in a church for 16 years and it became a cult. And then because I'm so loyal, I had to be blasted out of there, and it was a very painful experience. That was my story for a while. So when I look back on the path that my life has taken, even the blasting out, and even though it brought me to the place of considering suicide because it was so painful. I mean, when you're in an environment of 120 people for 16 years and all of a sudden it's gone, you know, it's like, where do I go? What do I do next? So it's like breaking up a marriage, losing a family members, and you need a healing process. And the fact that I was brought to that edge of myself, that's normal. Fortunately, I didn't do anything, but I think contemplating those kinds of things is just the normal process of moving through the pain. And so that took a lot of pressure off of me, because I cared so much for those people, because as I began to wake up from that system that was so controlling and so inhibiting and so limiting, I wanted to pull them out. I wanted to come after, because I was emotionally connected to these people. We went through everything together: marriages, deaths, births, food, birthdays. You know, it was our life. And to lose that emotional connection instantly is really a horrid experience. But what I realized is, when that was dropped into me and led me to read the book, that took the pressure off of me to be concerned about anybody else's journey. My concern about someone else's journey was actually my concern about my own journey. Right. So we have to look at the metaphor. What is the lesson? And it takes time to understand that those experiences that you have are metaphors for you to wake up. But we don't always get that. And that's a process. And so it took a lot of pressure off of me to realize that's their choice, and you have to let people have their journey. And if they're meant to come out of that and do something different, I have enough confidence that whatever divine source is available, they will get it to you.
Right.
If that's where you need to go next, it's gonna get into your life somehow.
Do you realize that, or do you see some people, they just want to be led, and they don't want to take responsibility for their own life? They just want to be led and just kind of, you drive my ship, you know? And, or do you sense more people? There's more people that want to drive their own ship.
Yes, for the circle that I travel in, the circle that I'm involved in, are like me. And so we have this communication. We've known Sue and Gary for, what, 20 years now? And so I can talk to them, and there's no disconnect because we're there. We understand a range of subjects from wonderful to horrid. You know, it's not out of my realm of experience because I can't be involved with people that need to be led.
Right.
That's not my journey. My journey is to get me to where I think I need to go without causing harm and without dogma interfering.
So basically, you're there to encourage people to take ownership of their lives. One second.
I don't know.
Excuse me for a second. Hey, Benaiah, you taking off? Okay, have some pizza. I think there's some pizza over here. We ordered a whole bunch of them, and if anybody wants to come down and visit, we got pizza for you guys. But yeah, help yourself to some pizza. So I'm sorry.
You can say that's my journey, but I don't know that I can say that's my journey. My journey is just to take care of myself. And the only reason I'm here is because of our conversation and you invited me, and it just seemed like that was the thing to do next. So I'm not putting pressure on anybody to do anything.
Right.
I'm just putting it out there. Just start challenging yourself. Challenge your dogmas and challenge your story and do no harm.
Might I ask you a question?
Sure.
Now, it's a personal question, and
Sure.
so if you don't feel like answering, feel
Sure.
free. But this group you were involved in that you say became a cult, did they in fact become a cult, or do you think they always were and you had a realization?
No.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. No, when I started at this particular church belief system, it was a form of Christianity.
Okay.
The church was in transition. The pastor had just been decapitated.
Ooh.
And so the wife was there, and this other guy in Haiti knew what had happened and that the church was without a pastor. And so he knew this other guy in Chicago and kind of planted the seed that you might, and he was kind of getting fed up with what he was into and he needed a change. So he planted the seed, brought this fellow, came out to the church, kind of sussed it out. And so there was probably maybe 80 people at that time. And because of the information that he presented, I mean, it was very different than standard Christianity. He integrated the Old and New Testament, and it was really quite intellectually captivating. And so people didn't like that, and so we dwindled down probably to about 10 people. In a couple of years, we're down to 10 people. And then, because people started absorbing the message and started telling other people, then it started to grow back. The problem was, and I learned this years later, the pastor had a dogma, and he had unethical practices that were carried on behind the scenes, okay? And me being an innocent and not understanding any of this stuff, I knew something was going on, but I couldn't figure it out. And when I had my own experience where I was, it was a prayer service, and when you had the prayer service, people would go up and get some healing, you know, have the young ministers lay their hand on you. Well, I was talking to a lady, and I knew something about her journey, and so I was just encouraging her to seek some other venues outside of the church, you know, to help build her self-esteem, because her self-esteem had just, you know, went to the gutter. Well, somebody overheard part of the conversation, runs up to the pastor, tells them what they think they heard me say, tells him. So I'm talking to this lady, and this gal comes back. I figured this all out later. Says, "Pastor wants to talk to you." And I didn't know she was the person that ran up. So I get up there, and he starts yelling at me in front of everybody. Just, I mean, loud yelling at me. And I'm just like in shock, because this was my spiritual father. And for him to turn on me, not ask me any questions, be judge, jury, and executioner in a public venue, how is that a demonstration of love from God? He's supposed to be my spiritual father. So that was the incident that started me on the journey. I didn't leave right away. It was a process. I had to settle in my own mind that I eventually had to leave there. And once I had that traumatic experience with that public humiliation, I began to see through. I began to see some things, and I says, oh my God, I cannot be here because my body in that energy means I support that kind of aberrant behavior. Once I had that realization, I was free to leave. I don't know, did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. So is this cult still
Oh, yes,
active?
and so yes, it became a cult because of, he made rules and regs that you couldn't get married without his permission. Permission. You couldn't get a job without his permission. You couldn't move without his permission. You know, he just controlled all your life. So yes, he developed that into, and it was like the frog in the boiling pot and it doesn't know you're getting cooked.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was very subtle, but over time, and yeah, it became a cult. Yeah.
And that's the sad thing about religion. It just slowly takes all your decision-making away.
Yes.
And that's why they talk about a lot of the churches are really Rockefeller. This kind of little side note, and you take it for what it was, but there's a lot of infiltration through different segments, like the Rockefellers. Rockefeller Center has put a lot of their little fingers into the churches, their little doctrines, and kind of perverted what, I'm getting the time limit sign up, or trying to wrap things up, but the point what you're saying is that a lot of the information that we've brought to us, or been given to us, is lies.
Yes.
And we need to throw away those lies and start taking in the truth, which is enormous.
Yes. It's freeing you.
Right.
It's very freedom experiencing.
And I think that's why I like Alex so much. This is not an Alex Jones show, but that's one reason why I like him, is because he pushes those buttons to show you that you're living a lie.
Yes.
And it causes controversy.
Yes.
Because people don't want to come to the realization that they've been living a lie.
Yes.
And so they'll actually hold on to it and die with it.
Yes.
And try to promote it because they don't want to feel like a fool. But it's really pride, is what you're holding on to, is your pride.
It's fear.
Fear.
Fear of being authentic.
Yeah. And if you let it go, what's the opposite of fear? Love.
Exactly.
So, Sue, did you have anything else? I know you're over there holding that mic, wanting to say something else. Was there any last comments?
Well, I think you ended it quite well. Love. Because as a society, have we loved ourselves and our planet and each other to the fullest that we're capable of? No. I think that's a challenge for all of us. So I think that's the answer right there. It's love.
Right. So, and one other thing I had to ask you, if we can wrap it up with this, is when you came out of this dogma, was there a point where people rejected you? Because you're finding yourself, you're not part of the system, you're not part of
Oh yeah.
this.
Oh yes. Once you are branded, you can't be talked to without the pastor's permission. So basically, out of 120 people, when I left, out of 120 people, and I was there for 16 years. I was loyal, I was dedicated, how many people do you think called me to find out if I was dead or alive?
I'm guessing zero.
Zero.
One. That told me right there who my friends really are. That was a real wake-up call.
Well, I'm, again, devil's advocate.
Sure.
I'm just saying this to be fair.
Sure.
If these people honestly believe that their immortal souls were on the line, I can understand not reaching out with the olive branch to contact you when they think they might be going to hell for doing so.
Well, in that particular belief system, they don't believe in hell, but The problem is that if you don't follow what the pastor tells you to do, you're going to be in trouble with God, which is never true.
Yeah. See, that's one thing I don't like about religions in general, is that this one man has some direct link to God, and he's speaking on my behalf, you know?
Yeah, that was Old Testament, by the way. We're not underneath the Old Testament anymore. So.
Yeah, I guess I
we
shouldn't
have
have
a
said that
direct line
anyways.
now.
If we're trying to wrap up, that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, exactly.
Next show.
Yeah.
But anyways, yep, we're gonna wrap things up now, and
I just want to say thank you. You know, I mean, we didn't have a whole lot of callers, but the ones we did, I thought were definitely entertaining. You know, even Mr. Mortimer Schmert, I remember you. You know, I hope I meet you in person. You know, but I mean, it was a good time. I mean, you know, we're gonna work some kinks out of this, and it was a learning experience. Good curve. We had good guests.
And we really appreciate the viewers watching, and if you guys have any suggestions, you can always go to, I think it's
FETV11.org. Yeah, I think the website is right there behind Carol.
Yeah, FETV11.org.
No, you don't need to move. We're just.
But you can send us an email with suggestions, and we really like the participation from the audience.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to come down on a Friday night and be a part of the audience, and please feel free. We're open here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Friday nights at 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any closing comments?
No, I'm good. I hope everyone has a great weekend, you know.
Yeah.
Not that I haven't had fun, but I'm kind of looking forward to get out of here and sleep in.
Yeah.
I woke up at 4:30 this morning, so I'm ready to go.
I won't say what time I woke up.
Yeah.
Go forth and challenge your dogma.
All right.
All right, well, thank you for watching Underground.
Yeah, thank you.